All right.
Everyone has a unique gift, and Mike and Diana, host of the 1NELife podcast, believe that most people don't know how to use their gifts or what they are. Mike and Diana want you to see things from a different perspective and be true to yourself. The 1NELife podcast unites the world through art, fashion, music, and film. It inspires, motivates, and creates positive energy, love, and compassion to all communities and creates an equal playing field for all. On the 1NELife podcast, they cover topics like building relationships, overcoming adversity, habits of healthy people, and much, much more. We only have one life to live. Be yourself and live your truth. Add the 1NELife podcast to your playlist. That's the number 1NELife. Available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and your favorite podcast platform.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the 1NELife podcast. I am Mike M.I.C. Reed, and as always, I have my lovely co-host Diana from Social Hawk in the building. And today we have Diana Gotti with AV Wellbeing Coalition with us today. How you doing?
I am doing fabulous.
Amazing. But first, let's check in with Diana with the Social Holic Experience, because we have it's Halloween weekend. I know you have a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't even know how you're about to do this. That's
what I said. I'm not even going to talk about Halloween because y'all should know by now what you should be doing today and tomorrow because I can't keep up. I think every restaurant and every brewery and every winery and every nonprofit and every bar and grill that you can name in the AV is doing something today. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I don't know how I can support it all.
Oh, no, good luck.
We did mention some last week, though, so we did get some out there ahead of time. But I did want to bring up that this Saturday, the Lancaster Museum, so MOA, and the Public Art Foundation, they are doing their soiree, sunset soiree. So it's at the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve Pavilion. I did it last year with them. It's amazing. It's basically just a night to really see what the AV brings as far as the art. And really get involved. They need, sponsorships and fundraising and all that fun stuff. So it's a great night. I know Bella Expressions photo booth will be there. Shout out to Crystal. And they have basically live music, poetry readings. It's by local high students, which is really cool to see the youth in our community step up on stage and show off their arts and their creativity. Nice. So I love to see that. And then the open bar, all the proceeds go to sponsoring or supporting the Lancaster's museums. We have a lot here. I don't know if I didn't even know all the, even the Indian Museum that we have closer to Lake LA, I didn't even know that existed. So I think it's pretty cool to get a chance to see all that. Council member Daryl Doris will be there, and he's always supporting the arts and cultures of Antelope Valley. So that is this Saturday, tomorrow, October 29th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve, which is right there off of K8 and like 30th West. So there's that. Then I wanted to shout out to Lucky Luke's. We haven't really mentioned them, in a while, but starting Monday, October 31st, they are going to be celebrating Dia de los Muertos. They're going to be offering different menu items to really showcase that special event that, in Latino culture, it's a very important day for us. So they're going to have bacon wrapped jalapenos, strawberry shortcake, cheese curds. Those are my favorite. Starting Monday the 31st. So that's so cool. We love giving support to the family there at Lucky Luke's. They're awesome. They're always down to support the community. So we want to make sure that we give the love back. And then last but not least, I'm not addressing Halloween events today, okay? Swear. Because y'all got a lot. You can just go online and find about a bunch of them. I know Bravery is having one, I think, tonight or tomorrow or something. So, there's so many out there. But the Antelope Valley Hispanic Chamber's monthly luncheon is coming up November 1st from 11 to 1 p.m. It's honoring our veterans, so that's a really, really important luncheon. I mean, all of them are important, but this one really speaks close to my heart only because my daughter's in the Navy. So I really like any chance I can to support the veterans and those who are, gave up their time and their service to make sure that we're safe. I just want to make sure that I support that. So it is at the Hilton Garden Inn in Palmdale from 11 to 1. You can RSVP on the Chamber's website or show up at the door, but it's a great time. So lunch is included. We get to have some good networking and mingling. So it's always a good time.
Nice.
That's all for me. I'm not talking about Halloween today. But have a happy and safe Halloween, y'all. Because don't be drinking and driving. Uber is a thing.
Right.
We want to live to see the next day.
Exactly.
That's right.
So I do want to give a shout out to my boy Jonathan, KJ Jonathan. And I just found out today, and I'm glad I found out this morning so I could actually talk about it right now. He has a new karaoke spot at the King Bar. Shout out to Sam for hooking up with Jonathan. So his first day is on Halloween, this Monday, October 31st. So I know Halloween is a big thing. Everybody's going trick-or-treating. Everybody got parties. But if you're a diehard karaoke fan like myself, I told him I'm rearranging my schedule because I got to go support him. So I'm the one that hooked him up with Sam. So I'm so happy Sam is giving him an opportunity to be over there because he deserves it. So I'm definitely going to be there.
It's on Mondays.
On Monday, October. So, yeah, this Monday, October 31st, is it when he starts. I'm not sure if that's going to be the normal date, but he starts this Monday.
And then he's at Cold Crush on Friday and Saturday, or is that changing?
That's just Saturday for now.
Just Saturday for now. Okay.
And
Cool.
but yeah, so King Bar 9 until close.
Cool beans.
So yeah, and that would be it.
Singing.
Perfect timing.
Heck
yeah. So anyway, this episode is sponsored by Eventually Events, where they take care of your. My glasses on. Stop it. Where they create magical moments and take care of every detail so you can enjoy that special time in your life. Book your appointment now with Diana on IG at Eventually Events.
Yes.
Also, the Money Market Business Solution. Hit them up on moneymarketbusinesssolution.com where they help you with your business startup assistance. All right, so we in here with two Dianas today.
Two cameras and two Dianas. I don't know which one to look at because I keep looking at both of them and waving and waving.
Diana Gotti is making me nervous right now because she got a bunch of stuff in front of her right now.
We had to take a test, y'all.
Like, we had to take a test to do this show.
I'm like, okay, what's wrong with me, Diana?
Yeah, Diana, come on.
Tell me what's wrong.
I
know there's a lot.
No. In fact, there is nothing wrong.
It was
with
96 questions.
There was. I was like, oh, shoot.
And I hate tests.
You know what the trip is about that? Is that we're learning things about ourselves, right?
Right.
And sometimes that can be a little bit scary, right?
You know what my husband said when I told him my result? That my number one is curiosity. He's like, curiosity killed the cat. And I was like...
Mike would say something like
he
that.
He would say something stupid. I'm like, what does that even mean now? Like, what am I going to die? Because I'm curious? I don't know. Go ahead.
No, not at all. Actually, I think that's why you are so successful in your business. And not only that, but you bring visions alive. You create that. And the reason why I'm so passionate about these character strains is because it did teach me a little bit about myself. And I was mentioning earlier to Mike, I said, were you kind of surprised about your results? Were you?
I guess, not the creative part. I guess, yeah.
In a way?
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing about all of this is actually we have all 24 character strains in ourselves, right? And sometimes we either overutilize or underutilize. Like, for example, mine is love. Oh, I love on people, and sometimes they just are like, you're weird. But sometimes I overutilize that. It's like when I met you, to be completely honest, I am very insecure to a point. And fear is very real for me. And that's why I was like so nervous about being here, but not that because I felt like I shouldn't. It's the fact that sometimes I deal with, being heard and seen, right? Mm-hmm. So when I did meet you for the first event at the MOA, just so you know, that was a really big highlight for just my business for the balloons. Oh, cool. And for the reason that you gave me the opportunity. And I thought to myself, how can she just not even know me and just give me that and the platform? So when I did walk into that, I was like, do I belong? Everyone has everything together. Like, everyone is great. Well, a fun fact, I actually learned to do balloons on YouTube. Okay. I learned that because I used to be in the medical field. So I used to do hair transplants. I did that for about 8 years, and I worked in cosmetic dermatology for a long time. When we relocated back here to the AV, I just didn't see where I fit. I really didn't. I thought to myself, what am I going to do now? I'm back home. I did grow up in the AV. I moved away when I met my husband, and I never looked back. I never looked back because there was a lot of things that I really wanted to leave here. Yeah. And I thought I knew who I was, but I think I was finding who I was, and through all that, then I became a mom and a wife. the same year.
Dang.
So a
Life
lot.
change.
Oh yeah. So sometimes I always say, I feel like I grew up and I was raising my son and myself at the same time.
That's beautiful, though.
Yeah.
I think we all, as parents, we do that, though.
Yeah.
I wish that was more not advertised, I guess, discussed, that's how it really works, instead of our kids assuming that we have it all together, because I think we've mentioned this a bunch of times, like, we're learning just as much as they are, and learning about ourselves and learning about being a parent. I mean, that's no easy task. So.
Yeah. And it's funny because the one at the bottom for me was self-regulation. And I knew that. I knew that because I didn't really know how to set boundaries, set psychological safety for myself. And I never really knew how to be heard and seen, For example, I use the MOA because it's relatable. It's something that we can both kind of relate to, where that I feel that that's your element, right? And just to see you that day, it was really beautiful, and I saw the strength in you, and I just saw like, oh my God, how did she do it? So I started to try to like figure out who you were. Like, how did she do that? It's so phenomenal. Like, I want to do that. I've always loved that. But then I became scared. Like, no, maybe I shouldn't. I just started. I'm not worthy. Like, oh, there's other girls that are, So again, those little voices in our heads, right, that tell us, no. So again, for me, yes, it's love. I love hard, right? But then my imbalancement, I don't know how to really put all of these things together. And curiosity for me is, you're right. Curiosity did kill the cat.
Yeah.
But that's how I've learned.
Yeah.
Because of curiosity. And for me, the third one is perspective. I really love to see things from all different angles. Like, I want to know, tell me. So then I have your perspective on life, things that I've never experienced. But the fact that you're willing to share that, I've already learned. And that's a beauty that I have, or I would say a talent, that's how I learn, like through other people, through their, just experiences. And then the last one is appreciation of beauty and excellence. I love telling people like, man, you're so beautiful. Like, you're so awesome. Like, keep going out there and do that and appreciate. Even when I met you at that, I remember, I think we were at the Rio, and I was like, you know what, Diana, you are truly an igniter of hope. But I think what I was really telling you is that you ignited hope in me.
Aww.
But how do you say that sometimes to a complete stranger, right?
Yeah.
Where they don't know you, they could maybe think they know a few things, but unless you become vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
And vulnerability can be like seen like weakness, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to let her know. Like, I'm not going to show my flaws or any of that. And then we tend to hide, right? And close everyone out because we build that wall, and we set those hard boundaries, but in reality, we're protecting ourselves. And I'm just great at it. And
it comes back to that fear.
And the last one for me is social intelligence. Before I had my kids and all that, oh my God, I was social butterfly, Even when I started dating my husband, he would be like, man, I feel like a third wheel with you at the at the club.
I'll just be sitting over there when you're ready, let me know. That's my husband.
Exactly.
He'll wave at me. Are you doing good? Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm the driver.
Exactly.
No, he tells me he's my diamond lane. He's like, oh, I'm just her diamond lane.
Yeah.
I like that.
My carpool partner.
Oh my God.
So,
yes. Yeah. That's why, he was supposed to be here. Actually, shout out to my husband, Brian Gotti, out there too. He is my support. He is my backbone. He is my best friend. And I was nervous, and he's like, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. And he's like, wait, but do I have to talk if I go?
Can I just sit there and look pretty?
And then I was like, I got that.
Yeah.
That's my specialty.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of what I do. So, and the reason why I also was pushing with our character strength is bringing it back to how I'm applying it, in my life. I did go to continuation high school, right? So I did go to Palmdale High for the first 2 years, and I was a little bit of a naughty girl. And my junior year, they graduated me to RX Ferris High School.
That's where the lucky students go, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, I went to continuation school too.
You know, and it's so funny that forever I was so ashamed of that. I was so ashamed of it. And, you know, the beauty behind all of that is I was class president for that. I got a 2-year scholarship from RX Paris. And actually, I was the organizer behind the mock trial team. And as continuation kids, let me tell you, we were kicking butt against regular high school kids, you know, when they're like, these kids from continuation, we're not dumb. We just,
a little rough around the edges. That's it.
Yeah, we just got
character.
You know what I'm saying? We had little other things going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But for a long time, I really was ashamed of that. And I did so well to protect all of that, right? To say, no, I'm good. I went to Palmdale High. Yeah, I went to Palmdale High, you know. But in reality, that experience, it made me who I am today.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's probably why, like, because you do a lot of giving back. So it's probably why you are passionate about that too, is because someone took a chance on you when you were maybe lost or, you know, finding your way, and you want to do the same.
Yeah. And it is true, because I had our school librarian, Miss Fisher. She actually became my mentor. And it's funny because she, even to this day, I still talk to her.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
She makes fun of me. And she goes, you remember when I used to tell you, if you don't behave, I'm calling your mom. And I was like, yeah, I do remember. Because let me tell you, I got a Salvadorian mom. She don't play.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, Miss Fisher, you're right.
Sorry.
Let me get my life right. But in reality, I'm so thankful for that, you know, because it taught me how to public speak. It taught me how to organize. I was put to spearhead like our Spirit Week and put all of that together. And I was just like, me, this kid? And she's like, yeah, you talk to everyone.
Put that to use.
Yeah.
Exactly. I didn't get the award
She found your strengths, and she utilized it.
She found my strength and utilized it, you know. And the reason why I share certain stories is so people can relate, you know. And that is how, you know, we learn. Some people learn. It's how do I compare? Like I was like, oh, Diana has everything, you know, she has it all together. And as I'm hearing, I was like, oh shoot, me and Diana actually have a lot in common.
Yeah. She's crazy.
No, but it's, you know what it is, Dee? It's the fact that your experience comes with wisdom. You know, it is a lot of wisdom that you share with us. What you do for these small businesses and help us and give us a platform to believe in ourselves. You know, even me, now I look back, I was like, dang, like I did those balloons, like, oh shoot. Then I put myself through school and I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but you gave me that.
Started it. At least you tried. Some people don't even take that chance, you know, that feel the fear and do it anyway. That's what my dad used to tell me, feel the fear and do it anyway. Some people don't even take that chance on themselves, and that's what a loss. Like what a sad loss, because you're here for a reason. And I think a lot of this, what you're doing, is a big chunk of that, but also, you know, getting involved in overcoming your fears is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, this is actually just a scratch. When I found so we are certified in applied positive psychology. We are the AV Wellbeing Coalition. And the way I found it, I couldn't sleep. It was kind of during COVID. I think it might have been like 4 a.m. I got this like random email from the city. And I was like, applied positive psychology. Well, I do like to know what's going on, you know. And I used to say, oh yeah, I'm happy. But deep down inside, I was hurting. You know, there was just so much, and I never really knew how to channel that or process, you know, like certain things where I'm like, what is that? You know,
like, why do I act this way, or why do I respond this way? And sometimes it comes really down to your childhood trauma.
Yep. Oh,
we
yeah.
talked about this.
And it's all going down that. Oh, believe me, I've been listening to the podcast, and I was like, I know what that's called.
Me. Oh, I can answer.
I would text Mike and I was like, tell Diana this is what it is. Tell Diana
Right.
this
No,
is
she
what
did
it
a couple of times.
Wait, what is your strength? We didn't hear yours.
Yeah.
That ain't fair. I didn't tell him myself.
Oh, so mine's is.
Oh, wait, he needs his glasses. Y'all, hold
I need
on.
my glasses. So my top 5, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my top 5. Number 1 is, and I wasn't shocked about this one, is spirituality. Spirituality. Second is fairness. Third is gratitude. Fourth is curiosity, and fifth is kindness.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's funny because I asked, were you surprised about that?
And I told her, I said yes and no, because I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised about the spirituality because, you all know that I meditate and I do a lot of self-healing. Mm-hmm. I was shocked that one of the ones that I told you that was at the bottom, and I don't know how to find it now.
You keep scrolling.
Show all strength. So I didn't. So creativity was in the middle. That's number 6 actually. But it was something at your lesser strength. Mm-hmm. 22, leadership. I thought that would be somewhere at the top. Not the top 5, but I thought that would be in the middle somewhere. So I was kind of shocked that was way at the bottom.
Really? Yeah. Can I ask why?
Because what you say?
Because I'm a motherfucking boss.
Yeah, I'm the fucking boss. No, because I believe that I work well in a team setting, and my number 3 was fairness. Like I feel like that's how I am, especially in business. So I thought the leadership thing, and I'm the one that's kind of always like, if we're at a table and there's a problem and no one, everybody, well, what you think? No one puts nothing on the table, right? I'm always the first one to put something on the table, and not to always say that if it's a right way or a wrong way. It's the only way I know, but here's a solution that we can start with. So I'm always doing that. And so that's why I felt like the leadership should have been a little higher. I was shocked that it wasn't.
But do you feel that...
pull mine up because I don't remember everything on mine.
Do you feel that there's other strength that maybe came out before that leadership?
Like what? What do you mean?
So you have to remember, we have all of them, right?
Right.
But sometimes we tend to utilize some more than the others. So this is what's very interesting about all of this.
I'm about to look like a nerd today.
No,
I need to have my glasses on at all times. I need to read this stuff.
The fact that they fold up kind of helped with that already.
What? Let me say something. Can I say something? No, look.
I'm just kidding.
No. I'm going to explain something. These glasses are actually expensive. Yeah. Because I've always wanted, how you're in a restaurant and you can't read their little menu and it'd be there. And I was like, I need some glasses where I can just put in my pocket. They fold up and you just put in your pocket. So I went to Walgreens and I saw these. I was like, oh, I really want them. But they was just so expensive. I was like, why is these little things so expensive? But I bought them anyway because I was like, it's perfect. Yeah. I know, it makes me look like a nerd.
No, it's not. It's the fact that we're, and I don't want to say as we age, but as we get wiser,
I'm old. You can say it, Diana.
We utilize our space.
He's like, I do not age.
Let me tell you, my mother-in-law gave me a little mirror comb that flaps down, and then it had my initial on it. I love it. It's in my purse. I bring it everywhere. So your glasses kind of did remind me of that, and I was like, you know what? You're onto something, Mike. You're onto something.
I feel like both of y'all are taking a shot at me right now. It's like one of those low-key shots. Like little jabs.
So I was not shocked by mine. Yeah. My final one, I was not. Mine was my lesser strength. Number 24 was prudence, because I am not careful about my choices. I'm impulsive.
Oh yeah.
I take risks that are scary, and people are like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Prudence is 14 for me.
Yeah.
Self-regulation is 23, forgiveness is 22, judgment is 21, and teamwork is 20, which that is weird.
I got about those same ones, and I said the same thing, and I was like, hold up.
I'm always in a team. What the hell? But prudence, if I had to choose any, that would be last. I guess that would probably be it, because that's a fair judgment call on myself, because I don't think before it sounds scary, but I was still like, cool, let's do it. Like skydiving. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I would do it again. That was awesome. But it was like a last minute choice decision. Like, let's do this. You know, I don't really take time to sit there and let's pro and con shit. No, it's like, it sounds good. Let's go.
You know what? It's so funny because that used to be me before kids. And after kids, I'm just like, no.
Or, Nelly?
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, I won't do roller coasters anymore. I won't even ride jet skis.
Because your fear of like something happens to you, what happens. But like now my kids are older, and like when I told myself when my kids turn 18, I'm skydiving, right? That was like a lifelong bucket list goal. But then my son was like 13 when I went, or 12 when I went, and I was like, you got your dad, you're good. You know, my other two, they're older, 20, they were like 22, 23 at that time. So I was like, you guys are fine. We have life insurance. You're good. But my younger one, I was like, I had to wait it out for a moment.
Shoot, I am so sorry.
She has a dope ass ringtone though.
What's
Yeah.
that ringtone?
You know, it's funny. That's my actually ringtone to go pick up the kids.
That's hilarious.
I like it. I don't know that. I don't like can set my own song for ringtones. I just use whatever Samsung gives me.
Yeah, no, that's for my alarm. That's my alarm.
So, you know what? As I'm looking at this list,
Yeah.
I'm not really mad at it. There are a couple of things that I probably would have changed, but I'm not mad at it. My bottom four is social intelligence, perseverance, leadership, bravery, and self-regulation. That's the bottom five.
Self-regulation fits.
Really?
Just kidding.
We're all at the bottom five. I can't judge you. I'm right there with you.
Exactly. That's
Hot mess.
I'm right beside your partner.
But I'm not mad at this. I think I would have put love a little higher. That's my number 9.
What am I? Probably like at the bottom.
You guys can even see these if you want. They're all here if you like.
But spirituality, I was happy to see that because I really have been like really deep into spirituality.
Yeah.
You know, law of attraction and all that, like my old meditation. So I was happy to see that was number 1.
Yeah.
That was just a confirmation for me that I'm on the right path.
You know what? That's dope. Yeah. And it's something that I wish that I could apply a little bit more as well. Growing up, my mom was my mom still is very religious. So sometimes I feel a little bit of resentment.
But I see, and even with like, I'm really good at knowing people. Like I know people. And I think that's what comes from my spirituality because I feel energy. And like your top 5, I'm looking at that right now. I feel that from you.
Yeah.
Like that is 100% you. I just know. I mean, I say it all the time. I know people. Like I just feel their energy.
Yeah.
But that just comes from me working on myself, working on energy and meditating every day. Like sometimes I meditate twice a day because I just need it.
Yeah.
When you meditate, are you the
No.
how they do it, or is it like this?
It's no.
How do you do it? Yeah.
It's this.
It's your middle finger to your thumb.
I think so.
Oh, and they
can't
did that
remember.
right. They go. Oh.
I can't remember. But no. It's actually the sounds. I have a book about that.
Like
I tried to do that. It's like the
sound bath?
Yeah. It goes with your chakras. Every chakra has a different sound. Right. So that's what that is. So when they're meditating and they do every sound from the chakra and just work their way down.
That's the one thing I have not, like, I guess, shown an interest in. I don't want to say it like in the wrong way, but like I never read about chakras and stuff. And I do believe in like higher energy or higher, beings and the whole energy. But I don't know, for that reason, I have not.
But you know what? It's like anything when you read, because I never did as well. But when I start reading it, like the first book I read about all this was The Alchemist. And when I read that book, and everybody talked, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they all said they read that book, and it was just amazing. And when I read that book, I started reading other spirituality books and the chakras, and then a lot of things started to make sense. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, and that's why I really got involved with the whole spirituality and meditation, because things really started to make sense. Things started really, being clear. Yeah. Like, okay, I can see where that came from or why things happen.
No, and it's so true, because for me it was Brene Brown, Daring Greatly, and that for me it is a fear, and I do love hard, but I have been hurt a lot. Mm-hmm. And even through all that, I still will love, I've still been able to push through that and been able to just persevere.
Now, let me ask you this, because people always ask, because everybody know I love love, right? Mm-hmm. I love being married. I was married twice, and a lot of people that was married like multiple times, they'll tell you, I'm never getting married again, right? I was still getting married to today because I love love. But I've been hurt twice as well. And for me, like the last time I was hurt, I said to myself, I'm never gonna love nobody like that again. Because my last one, I gave my all, like 1,000%, right? And I said I'll never do that again. But then I had to think about it, and I prayed on it, and I meditated about it. I said, why am I going to change myself? That's who I am. Why am I going to not let this next person that comes to my life benefit from that?
Right.
Like, I feel like I'll be cheating them. I mean, is that accurate?
Yeah, and it does, I feel it does make sense, you know, and not only that, but the reason why I kind of just to start with this is because it does kind of come all together, right? You're also building psychological safety, right? You're protecting yourself.
Right.
You're creating that for you based on experiences. Not only that, but you're practicing gratitude, right? You are so grateful for that moment you did share, right?
Right.
And there are good times, and you tend to focus on that because through marriage, I always say it's not for the weak. You
Right.
know, at
It's
times
not.
I say that because it's challenging. We just celebrated 16 years of marriage.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yeah, 16 years of marriage, and I say this, it's been a roller coaster. You know, there's been ups, there's been downs, and at times we're just like, my God, what's going on? We just learned our love languages 3 weeks ago.
Dude, I have not an expert in that, but I believe we're doing this app thing together, and I'm like, how do you communicate you love somebody? And we have to, my husband and I have to answer separately, and then we get to see each other's answers. Oh my God, we're like completely different. And I'm like, see, that's why we have a hard time sometimes, because I need this and you need that, but neither one of us knows how to talk to each other like that, you know, and I love that. Where did you guys go for that?
So we actually, we did it online. So I got the book, and we had a little bit of a hiccup, and I was just like, God, he just doesn't get me. I just don't get it. And a few of my teacher, Lois, he had also recommended it, and a few other gals in my cohort. They're like, but do you know about the love language? And I'm like, no, I don't.
There's like what?
There are five. So for mine is quality time. And then, so we have all five again, like the character strengths, right? Just some are more stronger than the others. So for me, it was quality time, and then it was gifts, acts of service, and then words of affirmation and touch were at the bottom for me.
It's like, I don't need to touch me.
Touch is my number one.
Yeah.
Like when I was married both times, I had to like something on my body had to be touching her whenever she's next to me.
Yeah. And my husband is like that too. Yeah. His is quality time. And then I want to say it was touch and words of affirmation, acts of service, and gifts for him were at the end. But you know what was really interesting that I read in the book? Sometimes when you, for example, let's say they're two different, like you were saying, your husband and you, it's like talking a different language. It's like if he speaks Spanish and he speaks Italian, or you speak Spanish, he speaks Italian, and then now you guys are trying to, you know, communicate. You're not, you know. And for me, because quality time is so big, quality conversation is just everything. It's ecstasy for me, you know. If we're talking and it's going and going, I'm like, hi.
That's awesome. Some guys have a hard time, I noticed, to communicate, right? No offense, Mike. I know you're probably amazing at communication. I don't want to put you down. I'm just saying men in general have...
No, I don't take no offense to that, because I am. My last couple of dates, honestly, they've lasted till 6 a.m. with just us having conversations, like till the sun come up. And I love those conversations.
Yeah.
When oh, damn, it's like 5 a.m, like sun's coming up, and it's like, oh, wow.
Well, you don't want to go to bed yet because you're having a good time.
Right.
Yeah. So communication is a struggle for a lot of men, and my husband included, because he's just like, I love you. Isn't that enough? You know, like, no, it's not.
And it's truly, and it's true. It's really not. And, you know, I thought to myself, like, this has to change. You know, this is no longer okay.
It's no longer fulfilling or satisfying the needs you need.
And you know what? I think it goes back to what you was, Diana, what you were saying. Because I was married.
Gotti.
I know, it's Gotti. Diana Gotti.
Which one?
But I was married for 24 years, right, with my first wife. And we didn't really, like, we had a great relationship. Like, we're still best friends to this day. Like, we was hanging out the other day. And, but we didn't communicate, have those deep conversations, right? We just had other things going on that kept us going. But it wasn't until recently where I missed that, and I want to say about maybe 3 years ago, I really started communicating with people. And then I realized, like, damn, I missed that. Like, I wish I would have had that with her.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what it was.
We have it now.
No, I know I have it now. Oh, yeah. No, we have conversations, great conversations now. And, but I wish I would have had it then. But it goes to show how you just grow. Like, and I've always said this because I learned with my second wife that if I had the tools that I have now, I would have, and I've told you this before, I would have saved my first marriage. But it took me to leave that relationship to go into another one to get those tools. Right. And I don't regret it. It was a hard decision because, she's the mother of my 2 kids. And, I love that family. I love being over there with them all the time. And some days do I wish, like, damn, I wish we were together. But it was the hardest decision I probably had to make is to leave that to go be a better man. Because I know that if I would have stayed, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
But that goes really back to what you just said about, like, sometimes you think about you would never get married again or never love someone the way that all that was lesson, right?
Right. No, absolutely.
So now you can't hold that against somebody brand new.
Right.
Now you're a better man for that person, and
Right.
you had to go through everything you went through.
Right. And I am picky. Very picky right now, but that's because I know what I want and I know what I went through to get to where I'm at, and it's like I'm very picky right now.
Well, as you
Why
should.
you laughing? Diana's laughing.
I ain't saying shit.
She said, sip, sip.
Some good ass coffee, Starbucks. Thank you.
No, and it's funny that you did mention that you wish you would have known these tools.
Right.
So actually going back to the AV Wellbeing Coalition, the group that I'm a part of is actually, well, I'm a part of a few of them. However, the one I feel a little bit more connected to would be the youth and families. So what we actually do, and we've done this a few times, and shout out to Miss Banks over at RX Paris High School. She is phenomenal, a great teacher, and she reminds me a lot of my mentor, Miss Fisher. Coincidentally, they're friends. So she, right, flock together. So she actually invited us over, and what we taught these kids were the same thing that we did today. We gave them the character strength, and boy, you should have seen their faces. Some of them were like, what? I had no clue. What is this? But they were just so curious. They really wanted to know more. And from there, we teach them about building psychological safeties. So my thing to them is, if it's not a hell yes, it needs to be a hell no. And some of them were like, oh, you know what I mean? Okay, I've never heard that before. And when you bring up generational like baggage, sometimes we become product of our environments, right? Up until the age of 18, what do our parents tell us, right? What to eat, what to, when to go to sleep, what to wear, where we're going. They're really, at times, I can only speak for myself, coming from a Hispanic first generation immigrant parents, there's a fear factor coming to this world, and they know it all, but they really didn't. They were just figuring it out, just like we were. But as kids, we really don't teach them that there are choices. So we want to, bring this awareness and give them these life's tools. And then we also teach them gratitude, how to love yourself.
That is so important.
Right. Where we really don't know. Or even like our friends, like, dang girl, you look dope today. Like, that's right. As women, sometimes we feel like just intimidated by one another, the way one looks, or or what one's doing or what one isn't doing. So gratitude. Last year for my birthday, I actually had a gratitude party, and I invited the closest people to me, and I took the time to tell each and every one of them how thankful I am, for just being in my life, and sometimes just being my friend or my cousins, or being there at times, One of my cousins, Mariana, when I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, it was really challenging. I was only 30 years old. No, was I 35 years old? Yeah. And I was kind of tripping, I didn't want no one there. I got this, but inside I was dying. I felt so alone, but I've always been strong. Exactly. Yeah. And she sometimes is very she lives in Orange County and she's in her own world, but who showed up? She did. And that has always stayed with me. And I said, not even my brothers were there, you know. And later on, my friend Jessica, that you guys know from Lexter, yeah, that's my girl.
What up, Jess?
Yeah,
I haven't seen her in a minute.
I know
She's running crazy.
Yeah, she's busy, but you know, she was there.
We're all drowning. We're all like this on the waves.
No, she's doing good. We got to work in not that long ago. So, but yeah, those people that really needed to be there, and my other friend Linda, and it was beautiful, you know. And I started with my cousin, and she goes, don't, and boom, here goes the crying. But you know how good I felt that day? I felt so alive. You know, and it was something that we really rarely see. So I always share that with these kids. Like, sometimes it's okay to even send your mom or a friend, or think of that person that's been there for you. It doesn't have to be, you know, specifically that, but I'm sure there's like a coach or whatever, you know, but be grateful. Yeah. And if you don't have that, write 3 things that you're grateful for, put it in your pocket. And when you're feeling kind of down, pull it back out. And be like, oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, okay. You know what? That's, you know, and we're being able to shift that mindset. And then we hit them with psychological safety. You know, if you need to talk to someone, do you have someone? You know, and then we give them kind of examples. If you don't have any, what about a dog? You know, or a pet or an animal? You'll be surprised that sometimes, you know, even when you're like upset and you look at them, you're telling them the whole juice.
Yeah, and they're just looking like, have a treat.
Exactly. But you know what? They
nice
feel you.
That, yeah.
They do. They
like
do.
If I'm feeling nervous or scared, or like, you know, because dogs pick up on energy like crazy. Mm-hmm. My killer.
Your killer.
My killer dog, he'll come and he'll just like snuggle. And he's one of those dogs that he's a German Shepherd. So like I'll watch a movie or something and he'll always lay next to me, but he's never like on me. If I'm like really like depressed or something, I notice he's very more touchy feely. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, Mom? So it's true. Dogs, cats, any animal, they can really sense it.
Can you? Oh, there you are.
See, I told you it's not me, y'all. It's Mike.
No, but it's true that you do say that, and it's funny that you brought up depression, and we teach these kids. We ask them, what is languishing? And do you know what languishing is?
I feel like you're like tormenting yourself in this like world of like a pool of self-doubt and feeling unworthy and not sure how to get out of it, but you're good at faking it to other people. To me, that's what the languishing is, that you're just kind of hurting inside for a long time and there's no way out in your mind. Do
you remember, I want to say it was with Jackie, you mentioned something like, I don't know, sometimes I kind of feel like blah. Mm-hmm. Remember, you're like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like blah. Like, I don't know, I don't want to do anything. I just kind of just want to chill, you know? You know that.
Gotta reset.
You know that mood where you're just like, I just don't. You know, I want to disconnect.
Moods, yeah.
You remember you were kind of saying that, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to hit you with that later, Mike.
Got you today. Got us today.
Yeah, so languishing is that. And then you ask, how do we get out of that? By a jolt of joy, right? Go ahead.
Because I have a question, because while we're on this, and we're talking about kids and, you know, reaching out for help, right? Because I've been thinking about this lately. Thinking about lady? And because I actually went through this a moment like this. We always tell people, like, we want to help people. We're there for you, whatever. But everybody has their own problems, right? But so when we tell people that, I kind of feel like people don't reach out to other people because when you do, people don't respond. And I kind of went through that. Like, I've had a few friends to tell me, hey man, if you're, depressed, or you're going to like call me. But when I do that, they don't respond because I know everybody has their own stuff. So is it kind of contradicting when you say that and you're not really there for someone? Are you just saying it just to appease them at the moment? Or like, I just feel that way. So whenever I'm going through things, like I was just telling you, like last week, I just shut my phone off and I just disconnected because I didn't want to call nobody because and that's because I know everybody's going through things. And me personally, I don't want to add to someone else's stress or anything, you know what I'm saying? Like that, put that negative energy out there. So I just be by myself. Do you find a lot of people don't reach out because of that?
Yeah. And that's why when you said you went home and did what? What did you do when you went home?
I just turned on some music and it's clear my mind. Yeah. Clear my playbook. Yeah.
Well, that's actually called a jolt of joy. And that's what you have to. So for example, when you get an ice cream, right? So What's your favorite ice cream or dessert? What's your favorite dessert?
Well, I like ice cream too, but cheesecake if we're gonna talk about dessert.
Yeah, what flavor?
No, I'm the original New York cheesecake.
Stop being like me.
Ew, I said it first. It's on record. I said it first. Oh no.
Well, FYI, now that I know you're a cheesecake gal.
I've been to Minty's.
I was just about to say that.
I went there 2 weeks ago for the
God.
first time, and they actually got pretty good. And I'm very picky about my cheesecake because I usually only go to Cheesecake Factory.
Everything. What are you talking about? Just cheesecake.
I know.
No, but they're fire. Their lemon blueberry was just everything. I just melted. But yeah, so what you were saying to me, I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit him with it in a little bit. That's actually your jolt of joy.
She's got a bag, yo.
Yeah.
Like she's got
See.
you need, and I'm saying this because I'm doing this. I just started pathmentalhealth.com. I'm looking for my therapist. You need a therapist because they get paid to be there for you.
I do have a therapist.
Well, why didn't you call them?
I call him. I check in with him every now and then.
Well, that moment when you felt like you needed to talk to them.
Because he's expensive.
Aren't you worth it?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Because I think I feel the same. Like when I'm going through something, like yesterday, I had a little bit of a meltdown. And I won't go into details why.
I call them hiccups.
I had a meltdown, girl. It was a meltdown. And it's more internally like self-doubt. Like, oh my God, it's never going to happen. I'm not good enough. Woe is me, that kind of meltdown. And same thing. Like I felt I didn't want to bother anybody because I feel like I'm a burden or they're busy. With 2020 and everyone's just trying to figure out their own shit right now, like we're all a hot mess. We're all struggling. I literally called one person and they're like, girl, you wouldn't even know what happened to me. And I'm just like, oh, what happened? Like, so like, then it was like me helping them. And I just was like, oh yeah, no, I just called to say hi. I guess I knew something was up and it was like, okay, call someone else. Oh my God, girl. I'm like, oh, what's wrong? So it's like, we're all got something happening. And I was like, I need to find me someone that I can just be like, I'm losing my shit and I have to pay them. So like, talk to me, Diana.
Right.
That's what I want. I want someone to just be like, Diana, tell me what's on your mind.
Yeah. But you know what? We have to learn to be kind to ourselves. We do. And not only that, but let's say when you are feeling like that, that's what well-being is. We're struggling, right? But we can struggle well. And how do we struggle well? When we focus on our character strengths, hope, right? Our jolts of joy, gratitude. Because when you're feeling like that, write things down. Write those 3 things, and remind. So what you're doing is rerouting your thoughts. You're rerouting your thoughts. And think about all those things. Even as simple as, well, gas is kind of expensive, but I do got a full tank, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I'm good for a couple more days.
You follow?
Yeah, I follow you.
And it's things like that. I mean, I had ran into you over at Reina's at the studio, right? We were doing that, I think it was a Tuesday class, and just dancing.
Oh, the hills.
Right. Exactly. So you have to know when you do feel that, and you say, and Mike did say, therapy is expensive. You're right. But if we can utilize these tools that we are sharing, it's going to make so much just a difference, And again, it's okay to say, hey, I'm struggling. I'm not well. It's okay. You know why? Because we're all a work in progress.
Oh yeah.
Right.
We're all a work in progress. Because like you said, we can go back and forth. You would have called me yesterday, girl. I was right next to you too. You know what I'm saying?
But it's good that you're talking to kids and giving them the tools, because that's another thing. Like if we could get them young,
right?
That sounded weird. Get you young. But no, same thing with my son. Like I talked about this before. My older 2, pobrecitos, like I screwed him up and I apologize for that. But my younger one, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be real with you right now, And so like, I'm glad that it's becoming more of a focus. I'm glad that mental health is becoming more of a focus in schools and getting that out to people. Like, no, you're not weird. No, you're not, useless, or you're not, there's no worth. You're just like everybody else. Just some people have a better way of hiding it.
Yeah.
No, I think that the kid part is important because I read a book, Bradshaw something. But anyway, it talks about the family system. And I've talked about this on the show before where, as you were stating before, when we're kids, even as a child, like we're given our name, we're given everything that we know because we're a part of the we system. Whoever raised you, that's the system you're a part of. Until you become an adult and you decide if you want to become the I system or do you want to get stuck in the we system. And a lot of kids, as they're turning into adults, they actually don't have anybody in their circle or their surroundings to help them decide, okay, no, you should be actually doing this or doing that, or giving them those tools, right? So it is great that you talk to two kids, because they need to hear it from someone else, because if their inner circle, their family or their environment isn't teaching them that, they got to get it from somewhere.
Right.
Right. And like for me, I didn't grow up with my parents. So I was just very blessed, and I got it from somewhere. And I became the I system at a very young age, which I'm very grateful for. But a lot of kids don't have that. And that's why you see a lot of adults today who's angry, depressed, struggling, because they're still part of that we system. They've never broken out of their environment when they was a kid.
It's sad though that I hopefully that you guys are able to reach like public schools. Because I feel like, even though it's very important that you guys are going to like the RX Paris and reaching the kids that are, need a little extra love, if we could catch them before they even have to go to that.
Right.
If they can catch them, like, when you put a kid in therapy, or, if a kid comes to school and they start thinking, oh, he needs a little more work, they test, right? They give you all these color tests and shape tests. And what do you see in this shape, and to help the psychological, that should be done for everybody. It shouldn't wait until you have an issue. It shouldn't be until they see something going on, or that should be, and that could really start to direct kids like, well, you're a very creative person. Let's get you learning more about how to utilize that creativity, and that's probably what you're meant here for. Or, you're very scientific or, logical, whatever that is, because that would just help so much if we could just get it started much earlier than when they're like in high school and about to give up on, like, who cares? My future's not, I hate when I hear that, when it could have been stopped from early on.
Right. And it's funny because my daughter's TK teacher, Miss Perez, she actually taught them, stop it. I don't like it. So when my daughter would come home, she would sometimes, she exercised a little too much though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not eat vegetables. Stop it.
I don't like it. And not only that, but when they did something good, kiss your brain. Kiss your brain. So what is that teaching?
Positive.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. And to this day, it's funny because we even utilize that. Kiss your brain, girl. Yes.
I like that. People are like, what the hell?
Right. And not only that, but when you are feeling a little bit like, no, girl, go onto your page and look at all those things, those people you bring together, marriage, and girl, kiss your brain and everything in between, because you are doing like a phenomenal job to
Thank you.
Just touching so many people, even like me. You gave me strength to get out here, to do this. And I know a while back, Mike had asked me, whenever you want to hop on, I was like, no, I'm not ready, Mike.
Well, because when I did your event at Sassy,
And I'm like, when you guys said, I'm like, which event are we talking
I know,
about?
I know,
exactly.
But it's AV, that's right.
I was just like, which one?
But you came up to me and you said, wow, I want to do speaking events. I want to do this.
Oh, I remember that.
And I was like, you should. And I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, but see, again, I'm now being vulnerable, and being real and saying, I am scared. I'm just a little scared. And a lot of that comes from my childhood, because that's what I was taught. It's to fear. Everything was a fear, fear factor. It's, I was body shamed growing up, and, you're fat. No one's ever going to love you. So when I met my husband, my husband's so handsome and great, and I always felt like I'm not worthy. Like, you can probably have someone skinny or pretty, but that's not true.
Speaking of your husband, did he take this test?
Yeah, he did.
What's his fault?
You know what? You want to hear something funny? Is that we actually did this last year right before Thanksgiving. My whole family did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And actually, I think his top one was judgment. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I see that.
But is it a judgment a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing. He's actually really good. He is the yin to my yang.
Wise.
Yeah, girl. Because he's a little bit. Yeah, he's more. I guess a little bit more present, I would say, because sometimes I won't. I'll be like all over, like, oh yeah, everything's great.
So
Yeah.
by you
squirrely,
knowing his top five,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming he knows your top five, right?
Just kidding.
That's actually a good thing, because now you know how to deal with each other, how to talk to each other, how to be around each other, how to love each other better.
And it's so true, because I have applied this so much. And, my husband, he is an only child, was raised by a single
Only child,
mom.
gang, what's up?
Oh my God, you
You couldn't tell? Everybody realizes that right away. Like, oh, she's got only child.
Really? I would have never guessed that.
I
You guys
have
are so lucky.
half.
You guys are so lucky.
I know. I have half brother and sisters, but I really didn't know them until I was adult. And then I have two step, but I also didn't really know them until I was an adult. And I have a phenomenal relationship with my stepsister now. But as a child growing up, I was an only child, and I was royalty in my family.
So you know how they say, because I was the baby of 7, and they said the baby is the spoilest. I'm gonna tell you that's the biggest fucking misconception. Because I was not spoiled. I was so far from it. So like I was lost. I was lost in the mix. No one knew who I was. I think that's why I made a name
Where's
for
the
myself.
7th child? Where's that
Yeah, like,
7th
who was
child
that?
at?
Who's
Where'd
this
he go?
little kid?
Wasn't there a baby around here somewhere?
Yeah, no, I actually am the baby of I have 2 older brothers. However, I grew up with I have my foster sisters. So I want sisters. Like, my brothers suck. You know what I mean? So my mom was also, she was raised as a foster child in her country. So I did grow up with them, and to me, I've always liked being around people. That's my thing. I have that. And my husband is total opposite. He's okay being alone.
I'm both.
That's like you and Mike.
Well, I'm both, yeah. But see, Mike's not an only child. So I think maybe because I was an only child is why I love to be around people. But then there's a point where I'm exhausted and I'm like, deuces, like I'm out and you won't see me for like 2 weeks. And you're like, where the hell did Diana go? I'm just resetting. But overall, I'm such I love being with people and socializing. And my husband's, he warms up to the idea.
Yeah, no, and he does. And believe me, with Brian, and I try to kind of pull him, I took him to our mixer, and I was like, yeah, it'll be great. And he's like, yeah, for you. But he's such a trooper. He really is. And all of these tools are helping, and this was through a 6-month course. And when I would come back, he would be like, what'd you learn? What'd you learn? And not only that, but we're finally putting these tools into play. Like I said, I was only 22 years old when I got pregnant with him, and we had only dated for maybe not even a year. And then I got
still learning.
Yeah, we really truly were. But what the beauty about our relationship was, that he actually was my friend. We used to kind of just talk all the time, and we really confided in each other. But before we became, a couple, he really was my friend.
That's the best way, though.
Yeah.
It really is to be friends first. And I say that all the time. Like, my husband's my best friend. So, like, when I get mad at him, I think I've said this before, too. I'll be like, I need to talk to my best friend, not my husband. Like, I don't want to talk to my husband now. I'm mad at my husband, but I'm talking to my best friend because I still need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I tell people, like, me and Nina, that's why me and Nina are still great friends, because in the beginning, even though we started off as boyfriend and girlfriend, but we worked on our friendship, and we built this strong friendship. And that's why today, like, we still hang out. Like, people, matter of fact, I was at soccer. This is a true story. I was at soccer practice Monday. And this soccer mom came up to me, and she was like, Mike, I feel stupid. And I was like, why? She was like, I didn't realize you and Nina was divorced. And I was like, really? Like, we've been divorced for like 10 years. And she was like, I know, but you guys are always at practice, always at the games, and you guys still play around with each other and hang out with each other like y'all still married. She was like, I did not know y'all was divorced. I was like, oh, wow. Like, I thought everybody. It's crazy. Like, she thought we were still married, and like, because we
That's
we
a
hang
great
out.
example of love for the mother of your child and respect. And I think that's something that, and I only know very few people that can actually operate, not being together, but being a great dynamic parent, dynamic dual for their children.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's very commendable, I think.
Yeah. And it really is, because relationship, it's key. It really is. And it all comes around all together. Not only that, but you're setting a great example for other people where I think that's why they were so like, how can you do that?
But, you know, for me, you know, and I've always said this, even when we got a divorce, we said we're going to teach our kids that because we're not married doesn't mean we have to hate each other, right? But for me, I took it a step further and I said, you know what, because the kids live with her. And I got to make sure she's okay and then they'll be okay. Like the house has to be straight. You know, her mental health has to be straight because that affects them. So first and foremost, like how we always say, we got to take care of ourselves if we're going to take care of other people. I looked at it like that. So I'm always making sure she's okay, making sure the house, everything is like I'm always over there fixing things and just make sure the house is in order because that's where my kids live.
And of course, my character strength is love. I'm like, it's at the tip of my tongue.
Right.
Why don't you just go back? You know,
Just fix it.
just go back.
You know,
I've
'cause
already
we
been there,
we-
done that.
we
We've already
are-
talked about this conversation.
Yeah,
I was like, I think you should just try again. I mean, the love of your life.
But you know,
might
we
as well.
have so many mutual friends and everybody keeps saying that. Like, why don't you guys just?
Is she married?
No.
Well, and
I've said some. We've talked about this.
Let me
before,
tell you,
girl.
Mike.
From what we hear.
Yeah,
From what we're hearing.
Well, you need to tell her that.
Doesn't she watch the podcast?
She says she's watched a couple episodes.
You know,
But
what
I think I'm gonna be honest.
We'll tag her in this one.
I think, and I'm gonna be honest. I think, and I'll probably get in trouble by saying this, but I think there's still a small part of her that's still bitter because she feels like I left her for another woman.
and that's
And it's
fair.
that I think that still got stuck in her mind. I have 1,000,000 times,
And not only that, but I think,
and I explained why I did it.
yeah, and that's
I'm a better man now.
yeah, and that's vulnerability, and that's holding accountability. You know, that sometimes we don't, but again, because of these tools, it really did save our marriage. You know, because we were and just in a really weird place where we left LA, we were living at my mom's. We were only here in the AV for 6 months. We were leaving to Texas. There's no way, you know, and then COVID hit and I was like, shit, now I'm really at my mom's. Like, I haven't been here in 16 years. It was bananas. And I literally jumped on our credit, got our first home. He got a job at got offered a job at Northrop. And we literally live like, we're the closest like home you could possibly be to Northrop. And he was commuting down to the valley, and everything happens for a reason. It really does, you know, but because we kept this core, you know, our foundation, and not only that, but remembered our friendship. Like you said, you know, I don't need my husband right now. I need my best friend. But sometimes they also need that space, you know, that safety where they can also say, hey, I get it. I hear you, but I also need to reset. You know, where it could possibly be that. But, you know, when I went into this, I remember growing up, I used to tell my mom, I want to be a sex therapist, you know, but I don't think it was because of that. I think because I wanted to help people navigate through that and then reconnect, you know, because sex isn't just something, and is it okay to talk about that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm like, sex isn't just something that you do, you know, it's something you feel and you connect. And, you know, it's funny because when I first met my husband, he's really big into dead prez, you know, I think it's called mind sex or something like that. And that's what the song is talking about, that we don't even have to take our clothes off. We can just talk deep conversations and all of that. But the beauty behind all of that is two people can really explore that. And then the intimacy, that's extra, you know, that's just, you know, cherry on the cake.
You see that movie, like I think it's called Demolition Man, where they have sex like by like visual.
Oh, yeah.
things. They put a helmet on. Like, you want to have sex? Okay, put the helmet on. And the guy was like, "What the hell? Like, I don't even touch you." I was like, "No, ew, gross. Put the helmet on."
yeah.
I have like, oh God, I hope that ever happens because
That
I'm
was
very
Sylvester
touchy.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yes,
Yeah,
I thought, oh my God, if that's the future, we're screwed. Because I'm a very touched person. You
Girl,
know?
with COVID, that's where they're heading. They're like, let's figure it out without it.
Crazy. I know. Thank God I was married during this time because I was like, a hot mess.
But it's so
Yeah.
true. It's so true. So, you know, all of these tools have come, you know, like together in my life. And the reason why, and there's so many more, you know, there's also hope and also like our health. It's all comes together, you know, because when you're not feeling good, when you're not, you know, in that routine, when you're not eating well, when you're not sleeping, you know, a fun fact, it's losing 90 minutes of sleep. It's equivalent to drinking like a 6-pack of beer. That's why you're groggy when you just can't sleep. You just, you know, it's all all comes together, and that's how you're able to even have like healthy relationships, connections, and you're able to be, achieve certain big goals, even through tiny habits. You know what I mean? Being able to find an anchor and celebrate at the end, like with you guys. I know it was a small talk about the podcast, but the fact that you did this, how did you guys celebrate, if you don't mind me asking? The fact that you guys brought this to life.
Celebrate that we started it?
Yeah.
I don't think we ever did we?
Why?
Celebrate. I mean, we celebrate it all the time.
I know, because we was always out doing karaoke. And
sincerely, like, said, we really did this shit. Like,
I don't think we ever did.
Because I don't think for us, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I think I speak for you too. It wasn't about us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was for everybody else. Like,
Yeah.
like we didn't think about us.
Others.
but who got up and did it? I think it's you two, right?
Mike is the bigger role.
Yeah.
Because I could never do all these fancy what do you call them? Things, gadgets.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, my patience.
But
I don't.
this is the easy part, and people don't. And I get it, yeah. I mean,
It looks very scary, though.
Thank you.
But I've been doing this for 35 years, as far as like, entertainment, doing editing, and like, so this is easy for me. But this is honestly the least component of it. If you think about it, people don't listen to us because of what I'm doing on this board. They're listening to us.
Or
This
actually
is irrelevant.
to you as a guest.
Right, yeah.
We're just like an outlet, I guess. But honestly, the guest and I think you feel the same way, the guest has always been the focal.
No, absolutely,
focal point.
100%.
So it's always about like what you're bringing today, talking about this stuff is going to help somebody 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I don't even know. They're not like.
It's never been about us.
Well, the way I see it is, again, you are igniter of hope. So without putting you two together and really creating that, I could say, yeah, I'm going to totally do it. I'm not. I couldn't. I'm too afraid. The fact that you were able to step up and say, you get things done. And people struggle with that. So that's gratitude. I think you spend more time downplaying what it was and no, and you and this and that. No. We talking about gratitude, y'all.
No, we appreciate that.
And it is. And it's okay to say, you know what? Yeah, we really did. And not only you, it's Socialholics again. You have so many things that you're just putting out there, but at some point you have to be able to celebrate that.
Thank you.
You do. That. Yeah. And that's why I asked. And it's funny because I went to the Dodger game and I love the Dodgers. That's my thing. That's my jolt of joy.
Dodgers.
Right? Well, I ended up spending the game just talking to a gal I met, and we had the best conversation. And she was sharing with me that her husband passed away 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And she said it was on her bucket list to come to a playoff game. And it was the one where the duck was there on the field. And she said, but I'm here alone. No one wanted to come, and that's okay. And I said, yeah, but the fact that you're here, like, and you're with me, and we're having a great time, and go Dodgers. And she goes, yeah, like sometimes my friends aren't very, supportive, and I just get tired of those, excuses. And I said, yeah, it really sucks. And she goes, yeah, like I'm getting ready to make my last payment on my mortgage. I was like, Debbie, how are you going to celebrate that?
Shots, cheers. What are we doing? What are you drinking?
Yeah. And then she goes, what do you mean? I said, that's an accomplishment.
I still got 27 more years.
Okay. Preach. And she's sitting right next to me, getting ready to make the last payment.
That's amazing. Yeah.
You follow? And she said, I've never thought about it. She goes, people usually tell me like, oh, whatever, it's just a mobile home. It's your home.
Right.
That's your
But
psychological
see,
safety.
she did that. I mean, that's something for
You
her.
follow?
Like, she did that.
She needs new friends.
Exactly. And then I told her, you need to celebrate, and she goes, God, I guess I really never thought of it. And then I said, well, how can you, with your husband, what would he have done? And then she's funny because she's like, oh, he was a SOB. And I said, yeah, I get that. But at some point, I'm sure he swept you off your feet. I'm sure he took your breath away at some point. She goes, yeah, that was a few times. You know what I mean? So now we're navigating back to the positive. And she goes, he loved to golf. And I said, you really should spend the day golfing and just allow him to be a part of this because he helped you build, And then ever since then, it's like a friend of mine. I have her under Debbie from Dodgers. But, my cousin just looked at me and she goes, you know what, Dee? She goes, it's dope to see you like in your element. Yeah. And I love that. And I thought of you too. I was like, dang, I'm like Mike now, just talking to everybody. So I had you in mind and I wanted to tell you that story, but yeah,
That's great.
Because you never know who you're going to meet, where you're going to meet them, and what impression you can make on their life. Yeah. But heck yeah, I would have been celebrating.
Yeah.
More payment? I wish.
Yeah. So that's how this all comes around. That's why even those little tiny habits, you still have to, in order to have the big one, you still have to do little ones, but remind yourself, celebrate, give yourself that gratitude, love yourself, love on yourself, and remind yourself that you might not have it all together, and that's okay. No one does, but you're a work in progress, right?
And that's a great point, because I want to touch on something real quick. But before I say that, I actually have a gratitude box that's on my dresser by my bed. And it actually says on the glass, it says, start each day with a grateful heart. And each day after I meditate, I write something down and I put it in that box. And today I actually put Diana's name in that box. Because it's all about, it goes along with the phrase what's that phrase? It is better to lost love than not to have love at all. So when we're talking about being grateful for things, nothing lasts forever, right? So today is kind of a sad day because it's Diana's last day. So, but it's also a great day.
I'm not going nowhere, y'all.
No, she's not, but it's still a great day because she's evolving, and she's going after her dreams and everything. And
that's why I had a meltdown yesterday.
No, but I mean, as you should though. I mean, because like we talked about on last show with Darlene, it's scaring you.
Oh God, yeah. If your dreams are scary, then it's not the right. Believe me, my dreams are nightmares right now.
I want to just say this on air that I appreciate Diana and I love her so much because she is a huge part of this show and what it's been. And the one thing I love about Diana is that she commits. Whatever she says she's going to do, she do. And she's been with me since day one. Even when the first day I started this show, she was just a guest. And the next day, I was like, I need you as a co-host. Because even when I first met her, I was like, you're a star. Like, you have something that people need to hear. Yeah. Like, I just felt that energy. And she's always been like that. Everywhere we went, everything that we do. And from day one, she has been there with me, had my back. She's been my right-hand man, so to speak. She helped me with the studio. I mean, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have this space right now. So I wanted to say thank you for everything. I love you, and I'm definitely going to be there supporting you. And like she said, she's not going nowhere, but we're evolving. Yeah. And that's what we're supposed to do because at the end of the day, nothing lasts forever, right? Even though it's sad, and when she told me she was leaving, I was selfish. I was sad because I love doing this with her because everywhere I go, it's always Mike and Diana, thank you. Mike and Diana, thank you. So I never wanted to lose that. But I do understand what she's doing. And I'm going to support her 1,000% because she is evolving. We're all evolving. And that's what we're supposed to do. Right. So it's just another chapter in our lives. And I'm excited for the journey that she's on. Yeah. And not saying a negative way, but I'm glad you're having these meltdowns because it is scaring you because you're doing something amazing. And at the end of that journey, you're going to see it. I mean, I know right now you keep saying you don't know what your path is, but I know what it is. I mean, the other Diana Gotti just told you like her experience with you. Like you are amazing. You do help people. People appreciate you so much. You have a gift for helping people and bringing people together. And I know you're going to continue to do that. And that's why I support you and I love you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aww.
So today, I mean, like I said, she's not going nowhere. She's definitely going to be back. Diana can't get away from these cameras and microphones.
Nah, girl, you made for this.
If you know Diana, you know she can't get away from that. But she's going to take some time and do her own thing.
Exactly.
You are a natural. When you hold that, you own it. You really like. You control a room, and I love that about you. You know, and I see like that's where I gain strength. Even like at the opening at Lux, I was like, dang, you know, like you were owning all of that. Like you make your presence known, and I knew you were there, and that's dope. In a world where I felt like I just want to hide and crawl, you know, out of fear. Like, no, I don't want to be seen. But then it's, you know, I need to be seen. I need to do what I do.
Absolutely. You need to be on here more.
What, that Diana?
That Diana.
Oh, she would be. We got a lot to talk about.
I feel like you should be on here more because I feel like I said before, if you can reach them young and if you can reach the masses, God, what a different world. And even if you just reach one person, that one person, like, for example, the person, what was her name again?
Ooh. My mentor in school, Miss Fisher.
Miss Fisher, even if you're the only student that listened and became something, God, how fulfilling does she feel? Yeah. 1NELife is 1NF, but I mean, obviously the goal is to reach many and more, but like this is a beautiful thing that you're doing. I was scared to take the test, though. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh my God.
I thought
it's going to tell me that I am a sinner.
No.
I was like, I already know that.
No. In fact, it was reassuring you that you're doing what you need to be doing. You know, you are right where you need to be. And that's where I was. I walked into that room with like 50 different people, and I'm just like, what am I doing? You know, but I made it a point to sit next to everyone to get to know them, you know, because I mean, we had the city manager in there. We had people with sheriffs, just from all different walks of life, where I was just like, man, I don't even work anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm just tripping, being in here trying to figure my life out. But that's false, you know, because when we touched on relation, I got up there and I started talking about positive sexuality, you know, and what it was. And everyone was just blown away. Like, what is this? You know, but the fact that it's a factor. It really, really is. Like, it all comes together in balancing, you know, and being productive and feeling good about ourselves and confident. You know, at times my husband's like, dang, girl, you look good. I was like, really? Where? You know,
what do you look good?
Right.
Yeah. That's why the heels class was so empowering.
I know.
Because even like, I swear, and I do this all the time, I have 2 left feet with poor Raina and the 1, 2, 3, and I'm just like a Bambi, you know? And then the last like 15 minutes, I got it. And I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, fire in my eyes. And she tells me like, calm down. But it's so empowering. When I go home, I feel like ain't nobody got nothing on me. You know, my husband's like, I'm walking around. He's like, why are you like walking with like an attitude? Like, what swagger?
Hey, let me ask, since I have both of you here.
Why are you interrupting my heels class moment?
I thought you were done.
I was not done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I was like, excuse me.
Because I really have to ask this question. So I have a friend, and she listens to this, and I don't care. Her name is Esme, and I'm talking about you, Esme. But Esme, huh?
Have I met Esme?
No.
Okay.
She's new. I mean, she's a friend of mine. I'm not like, we're not dating or nothing. She's just a friend of mine. But I do like her. She knows that. But you haven't met her. I just threw that out there.
Hey, Esme.
But no, she is. Me and her connect on a spiritual level that's amazing. It's actually refreshing because I don't get to talk to many people like how I talk to her, and just like throughout the day, me and her talking, it's incredible. Anyway, that's not what my question. My question is because she keeps telling me that she needs to lose weight, right? But I think she's beautiful. Like, she is sexy as fuck. I'm gonna just say it. But when women tell me this,
not to mention names on the podcast, but
because I want her to hear this.
Oh.
But do women? Because I know a lot of women always say that they have to feel sexy, right? Mm-hmm. So does it matter? Like a guy like me says something like they don't like.
Not a bit. Not at least not.
Even like, because your husband says you're sexy, right? Like,
to me.
Doesn't matter to you.
Because I have to look in the mirror and I have to feel that what you're saying to us is great. It's a great compliment. Mm-hmm. But you have to remember, and I'm pretty sure you can account to this too, like we are dealing with our own inside issues, whether it's being body shamed when you're younger or fat eyes. Fat eyes is a thing. You could have lost weight and you still see yourself in the mirror the same size you were when you know, let's say you were, a bigger weight, now you're lesser weight, you still see yourself in that weight. It has to change internally. You can tell me I am the gorgeous woman alive, and I'm going to be like, thank you. And I'm going to look at the mirror and be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. It has to start here. So that it's hard because my husband goes, isn't my opinion the one that matters? I'm like, no. Your opinion matters about anyone outside of my opinion. You're the most important. But my opinion is the most important. And if I don't think I look good, then I think you're just telling me that because you have to, or you want to, or you want something. That's my mentality. I don't know about you.
I mean, to an extent, I think it's a little bit of both, right? Because even let's say we're doing everything, but we're still shaming ourselves, right? And allowing that person that sees you like at your best, that should hold some sort of weight. For me. It is, and it's something that I deal with too. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm surrounded by beautiful women all the time, and my husband's very good looking, but the fact that he makes me feel and he reminds me that like no one else
eyes for you.
Oh yeah. Right. And this morning he left me a love note, like telling me that. And I had told him I had never received one. I had never received one. And even in high school, growing up, never, any of that. And 16 years later, I'm like, dang, he gives me birthday cards and all that. But what he said to me, I was like, dang, that's deep. And on my wall, in my closet, that's, like my secret place. That's where I have my jolts of joy, things that make me happy, moments where I, like my nephew's niece and things like that. I put that letter on there. And I told him, you know what? Thank you for that, because that was a reminder, and it's not necessarily what you're not saying or what doing, but sometimes we also have to do the work. So it's, I think, a little bit of both. And especially when you're like doing your thing, you're working out, you got yourself ready, and then no one says nothing. You're like, you know what? All you guys, in a way, you know what I'm saying?
I know I look good.
Exactly. Girl, sometimes I'm like, I do not wear makeup all the time. Mostly when you see me, I won't wear makeup. And I have a bun up. And my husband's like, dang, you look bomb. And I was like, really? And then when I get ready and stuff, he's like, I don't know, you look like different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's not who I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I think you are right, but sometimes that's why we also have a partner.
We should work. I need to work on accepting his.
And it's okay. And again, remember, let's not beat ourselves up for something that we didn't know, but let's celebrate, the tools that we are learning. Now you're being more mindful of that. See, it's tools that are unteachable, because now we brought awareness to it, where now he has a chance to be heard and seen.
Voice.
Well, not necessarily that, just to be heard and seen. He's always had a voice, right? But has he really been heard or seen, where it's like, dang girl, he got a bomb ass wife. You know what I'm saying?
Now I do compliment him too, which I think that's important.
It really is.
You have to, men need compliments.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I feel bad for guys.
I don't get them at all. So
yeah. No, I do. Oh, I text him every morning like, hey, Papa Sexy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I be blowing. Oh, I toot his horn so bad, and then I have to reflect like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
being thirsty. Right. Thirsty today. What happened?
So as a friend. Yeah. So as a friend, do I stop telling her that, or?
I would say ask permission, boundaries.
Ask permission to compliment her?
Well, you have to respect. What if you're triggering something that you're unaware of? There's a lot that comes behind that, True. Sometimes women have been hurt, and you unintentionally might be triggering something that you are unaware.
No, but she doesn't get mad at me when I tell her that. She just be like, Mike, stop. Like my stomach is bigger than hers. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I even asked her the other day, I was like, show me where you need to lose weight. Like, for real. Like, she's just one of those people. I'm like, the fuck out of here. You know?
She sees herself.
But I know, obviously, she
right.
sees herself something else, and
Right.
I do respect that.
Yeah.
Like I don't like shame her or anything.
Well, you
because
said
I just think
you're-
she's just beautiful.
You're on a life journey fitness or journey too now, right?
Right.
You're starting to work out. So
Right.
maybe say, hey, I think you look absolutely fabulous, but I need to work on me. Would you like to join me?
Ooh, key.
We can go to the gym. We can go take a walk at the park or take a jog, or we can do something like, let's do Journey Terror.
Yes.
So that way, you know what I mean? Like
Yes,
it's kind of like I'm working on my stuff. If you think you need to work on yourself, cool beans. But let's have some quality time together. You know? Come on, us, man.
Okay, D, you're
We're friends.
I know. I said, go, girl.
Said quality time.
Yeah, friendships need quality
Yeah,
time.
That is true. That is true.
quality
That's true.
conversation.
I need some time with my girlfriends.
no, we
You
do.
know that. I always got to be with my girlfriends.
No, we do. We had dinner last week together, just me and her. I mean, we hang out with some of our friends, but last week we had just me and her, and it was great. She's the one that actually was telling you about on the top of the show, where we spent. I don't want to make this sound like the wrong way, but the first 2 nights that we actually met, we actually was up talking till like 6 a.m. both nights, the first 2 nights, and it was crazy. I was like, damn, like this is a pattern.
No, it's not. It's something that you're really good at. And like she said, sometimes it's hard for a man to be connected with his feelings, with his emotion, to be vulnerable, right? Because then that's considered weakness. But it's really not. You know, when a man becomes vulnerable, it's almost like, oh my God, it's like a whole nother level. Like, you do hear me, you do get me, versus shutting it out. Like, I don't want to hear, oh, this, or, oh, you're just being dumb. No. Oh, be aware of that, you know? And if you would like to talk about it, or like what Diana suggested, I'm working on me. Would you like to join me? Or something like that. I would just like to spend time, you know, where maybe she would feel a little bit more comfortable. Or the fact that intimidation could be another thing. Like, what if she doesn't want to work out, you know?
Like, you know what's crazy about part of what you just said is, like, when I first met her, like, she was kind of standoffish, because she just said, like, a lot of guys try to talk to her. And that night, in the middle of our conversation, she was actually like, yeah, wow, you know what? Every guy that talks to me is very superficial. And so she said it goes in one ear and out the other, right? It's like blah, blah, blah. But she said, I actually touched her heart because I wanted to know her. It was like 3 a.m. I wasn't trying to sleep with her, right? I was just trying to have a conversation with her. And that's why I went so long to like 6. I think she left my house at like 9 a.m. Anyway, it was other people there. It was just me and her. But I just want to be clear about that. I had a little get together at my house. But
Gosh, I can't.
I'm over here like, tell me more.
no, but it was
like a novella.
It was
Love.
It
So
was
then what happened?
No, it was like we just had a great conversation.
You
And
don't have to have sex to have sex. man.
right.
Okay.
No,
Diana, shit.
it's an hour 28. We went out.
And with that, guys.
And cut.
Yeah, you want unrecord.
Anyways, it was just a great. I appreciated that she actually told me that, because she said she never gotten that before, and you know, and that meant a lot to me, because I really was just trying to have a conversation to her. But for me to even have that conversation, and she recognized that it meant a lot.
Right. And especially like she says, I'm sure is a beautiful woman, and that to her is nothing, you know, but other attention to detail, quality time, all those other things, like, they're key.
If if men understood how many times as a woman we get catcalled and told we're beautiful and can I get your number and do you have a man, blah, 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 it becomes so like, blah.
Right.
Like, do you have anything original? Is there anything that like?
And that's what she was saying, pretty much.
Yeah. So like, you know, and then we're in our own head about, you know, like I said, our own bodies and stuff. Like, it's kind of like, ugh. But if you can actually come, like she said, to your heart, start talking about stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I was bringing up stuff. She was like, wow. Like, no one's ever asked me that before, or like wanted to know these details. And I thought it was normal, but.
No, it's not. They usually don't care.
Especially these days,
To
I
an
think everything is so super.
Come on, guys. You guys got to work on it. Come on.
Yeah.
Making me look
have a
bad.
guy's course.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's true. Like, and you know, for example, in our relationship, we love sports. So I am like a big sports head. I'm like, yeah, let's go watch the Lakers, Dodgers. You know, we were just at the Wu-Tang concert and we took our son.
Me and my husband are music.
You know that? Yeah. And that's what we do. And we would run into like sometimes like his friends would be like, "Hey man, who are you here with?" "Oh, I'm here with D." You know, they're like, "Dang, you are?" You know,
Got your wife?
You know, but it's the truth, you know, like we started off like that, like friends, and we still continue those things, you know.
Hey, shout out to your husband. I never met him, but
Yeah,
like
you have, Brian.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Shit. Why you put me on the spot like that?
It's
I'm gonna make this feel bad.
Hi, Brian.
You know what it is?
Wait, where did I meet him at?
At the Rio, when we ran, I think it was for Cinco de Mayo.
It was the mixer.
Yeah, the mixer.
Oh, you were at the bar talking. Don't worry, he was busy.
You know what?
Wow. You know what?
I'm right.
No. First of all, I was talking to Jess.
Yeah. You were
the whole time.
Yeah.
Why? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, why I just can't have a friendly conversation with somebody?
No, and we were.
You were there to network. You didn't do much
I was networking with Jess.
No, we were actually. Yeah, because they came over after. We were all talking. Yeah.
I don't think we talked about business, but we were just having a great conversation.
Yeah. No, and
Jess is super
true.
cool. I like Jess.
She is.
Yeah, no, but that's, you know, and but again, he's very quiet. He was actually with Melissa from S'mores and More. She was with her husband. Yeah, and it's funny because
That's another good time right there. She's
girl,
so
that's
awesome.
you know, she's
She
been my friend since junior high.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then she was the one that told me about you, and she's like, "You gotta hook up with Diana." But actually, shout out to Melissa. That's right, from S'mores and More.
Yeah, she's really dope.
Yeah, that's who dragged me
and her
out.
husband.
I ran into her in Burbank, and she's all, "Diana," and I said, "Yes," because I had my mask on. She goes, "It's me." I was like, "Oh shit, Melissa, what's cracking?" And then shortly after that, like she kept like inviting me and come on, get out there. So that's who Brian was with was with her husband.
That's
and
so cool.
yeah, they were, you know, and you know Melissa, and we're both social butterflies, like da, 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 da. And they're so great. You know,
Now, every
how
time
they
I'm
balance
at an
us.
event, her and her husband always come up behind me, like, "What's up, Mike?" And I'll be like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah,
It's super
I
cool.
haven't
Yeah.
seen her in a minute, but I haven't, because I've been so busy. I haven't done much of like the small business things, pop-ups and stuff. I probably won't do them this year, girl, because it's just, if I get a break, I'm gonna sleep.
Yeah, well, go on vacation. Go on vacation.
I can't. My husband's working. He just started his new job, so I have to like wait that whole year out before he gets a week off. You know, that kind of situation.
But you have something to look forward to, right?
I do.
And how are we going to celebrate at that
excited.
1 year?
We're going to Virginia to see my daughter.
There it
I
is.
already know. I'm going. I can't wait. She's in Greece right now at Little Brown. I'm like, you didn't want to let me know I could fly out there, you know, say what's up. Yeah,
That's
she's out
dope.
there doing her thing. So.
Yeah. And actually, I did. You did mention she is in the military. We actually did the reenactment of the welcoming home our Vietnam veterans. So that was actually part of our coalition. We have multiple projects that we also do. We have a healing garden as well, and then we have a Zen Academy over at Los Amigos, the school. We have two of our coalition members there. One of them's a teacher, and one of them's a school nurse. And then we're beautifying Palmdale Boulevard. So that's another project that we have. We serve the unhoused women as well. We had that project. And also for our seniors. Yeah, so we did a lot. Oh, and our entrepreneurs. So we have a little bit of everything out there, but I did want to reflect on the amazing projects that we are doing.
That's awesome.
No,
So yeah.
Oh, man.
I know I can go, I could talk forever.
She won.
Okay, she won.
Yeah.
You just broke a record. Why are you taking your thing off?
Oh, my bad. I thought we were done.
What?
No.
No, we definitely want to thank you for hanging out with us today and bringing all the information. And I know you got to come back because you didn't get into that big old book that's scaring me right now. I don't know what that is. But you got to explain it. You brought it out for a reason.
Yeah, you know what? The conversation was more interesting.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, that's what we love, organic conversation. I was just talking to
Yeah.
I was just talking to a lady last night that's going to be on the show in a few weeks, and I told her, because she was like, "What do I need to bring?" I said, "Nothing. We're just going to have organic conversation. That's what people want."
It's the best way.
Yeah, it's the best way.
Don't
So-
come prepared with nothing. Well,
Yeah.
great, but I'm saying like as far as don't be like all like, what do I gotta do? Like just let it flow.
Yeah.
Well, this was my safety net, if we're being honest.
But just
I
in
was-
case.
Just in
Girl,
case.
yes, I had to think ahead.
And look at you. You are an hour and 36 minutes.
Yes, you
Who would've
set the
known?
record.
Thank you.
Rena
Wow.
was the last one. I think her was an hour 30. Now you're at hour 36.
Oh, shoot.
And this show is only supposed to be 45 minutes long. Like,
That's
but it's
true.
great though. It's great.
I
It's
can
great.
talk, y'all. I can talk.
And here you talking about you was nervous.
Yeah.
Well, again, I was honest with you guys and vulnerable and said, yeah, fear
So
is a
how
thing.
was
for me.
it?
I love it. I feel like, girl, after a while, I was like, yeah, uh-huh,
Let's do this again. Yeah, I could do this some more.
Yeah. And it's funny because I always said I belong in front of something. I just don't know what.
Well, no, because you have a story and you have a lot of information that needs to get out there.
Absolutely.
100%. And so you definitely got to come back.
Oh, thank you.
So we can get out more information because we need to have these conversations more and more.
Okay.
Because again, it's more about the family system, about being turning into the I system, and we need to reach these kids.
Okay.
They need something, even if they don't. Again, like Diana always say, these conversations are timeless.
Yes.
If they don't listen today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now, somebody's going to listen and be like, oh, wow.
Someone's gonna reach out to you in 10 years.
Right.
You're like, you really saved my life. And you're
Yeah,
like,
so-
what?
Oh, but real quick, we are also on social media, AV Wellbeing Coalition. You can also, we do have a page. You can Google, I think it's www.AV Wellbeing Coalition. You can reach us that way as well. Or if you just have questions and want to know more, we are putting things out there, workshops where people can be a part
That's
of this.
awesome.
So, yeah.
So she just said where you can reach her at, guys.
Yes,
on
yes,
Instagram,
yes.
online. Or you can just reach out to Diana Balloons by Gotti.
Yeah, talk about your balloons real quick. I mean, don't forget that. You do amazing stuff.
You know what? That's actually my jolt of joy. That is my therapy. I crank the music and I bring that to life. And you know what's so dope is when we show up and the people, or mostly the kids, are just like, wow,
Yeah.
balloons. And then I'm like, really? And then I just kind of like, yeah, that's right, balloons. But yeah, no, jolt of joy for me. I love doing it. I love being a part of that. So yeah, balloons is just additional hat that I have. And I just love bringing it to life. So
And-
yeah.
and what's your
Yeah,
IG?
yeah. What was that?
What's your IG on that?
It's Balloons by Gotti. And the Gotti is Gaddi.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again, Diana. And thank
you.
you again, Diana. Do you have any last words? Even though you're going to be
I
back.
love you all.
Yay! Aww.
I ain't going nowhere, y'all. I'm still out here.
I know she ain't going nowhere.
I'm just out running the world. So,
Yeah.
I do my stuff.
With your chamber badge on today.
I know. I still have more stuff to do. I got to talk to you Friday, but I do got to leave
Yes,
because
yes.
I got to drop something off to Brittany.
All right, y'all. We out of here.